Peace, everybody. Welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch, and today I'm going to recap 3 fights from last Saturday night. I'm going to talk about Julian JRock Williams versus Jason Rosario for the 154 unified title. I'm going to talk about Alvarez versus Michael Seals in a light heavyweight 175-pound matchup. And I'm also going to talk about UFC 246, which featured Conor McGregor versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone. And I'm going to start off with that one because it was the quickest. And also I'm going to call this our Sunday morning coach edition because I didn't get a chance to actually preview the fights. So, you know, Rob and I always like to get our pre-fight thoughts out there just to measure up how right or how wrong we were. And so I'm going to start with the McGregor fight, talk about the lighter Alvarez fight, and then talk about the Julian Williams fight. But for fight fans, we got 3 great knockouts to enjoy on a Saturday night. So let's get into it. UFC 246, the notorious Conor McGregor, returning off of his loss to Khabib Nurmagomedov almost, it was over a year ago now. And Cerrone, who has been coming off a few losses himself. However, both guys had a big enough name to be a main event on pay-per-view. That's how the money works. We're not going to get into that. A lot of people coming into this fight didn't give Cowboy much of a chance. A lot of people also thought that if Cowboy could survive an early onslaught from McGregor, that him being a slow starter would be able to start to lay hands on Conor and make it an interesting fight. Personally, I was not enthused about this fight at all. I'm going to be honest with you all. I did not find any interest in watching Conor McGregor fight Cowboy Cerrone. Both guys fighting at 170, a weight class that they're not really accustomed to. Like, they fought at 170, but they're 155 pounders. So, it was kind of one of those fights where, it's going to move the needle as far as people wanting to see Conor McGregor, Cowboy having that reputation already. But other than that, it doesn't actually provide any changes to the welterweight rankings. It didn't, improve the title picture. So, in that note, it wasn't something that we really wanted to see. Well, I didn't anyway. But the fight fan in me, the coach in me, the person who wants to learn everything there is to know about combat sports, that person in me had to watch it. So I stayed up late, even though I was supposed to be at work in a little bit, and I watched the fight. And I'm actually glad I did, because Conor McGregor gave us the buzzsaw performance that everyone wanted to see, but he did it in a way that came kind of surprising. So he comes out, wings the left hand right off rip. Cerrone ducks it. From there, they go into the clinch, and McGregor uses a move that you usually see guys do against the cage, which was using the shoulder and ramming it in the Cowboy's face. And one thing I noticed was he actually landed solid shots with that shoulder. And you could see that Cowboy was actually affected by it. And I was like, oh, okay. And then when they finally break the clinch after about 3 or 4 of those shoulders, Cowboy looked like he had been through 3 rounds of punishment already. And I was like, oh, man. So they break. Cowboy throws a kick. Conor throws a kick. And Cowboy goes to block it like he's blocking a shin. However, Conor landed more of a kickbox, like more of an Americanized kickboxing left high kick, where he landed with the foot, the base of the foot instead of the shin, which is how a lot of Dutch and Muay Thai kickboxers like to land their leg kicks, their high kicks anyway. And then it was all downhill from there. Buzz, onslaught, fight over. So, I was shocked, I was entertained, And it still left me with some questions. The same questions that everyone else is asking. What is Conor McGregor going to do? Is he going to go back down to 55? Is he going to stay at 170? Who knows? We know wherever he goes is where the money goes. But I don't know if he really wants any of those sharks at 170. He looked really small at 170. And in the workout pictures, he looked pretty good. Fight night, he didn't look that great. To me anyway, physically. And then when you got a brick shit house like Kamaru Usman standing across from you, or a whirling dervish and Colby Covington, or a Jorge Masvidal, a Leon Edwards, someone like that standing across from you, I don't know how well that's going to turn out for him. Then you got Justin Gaethje down at 55. You got the rematch with Khabib. Maybe Tony Ferguson if he wins that fight between the two of them. Conor McGregor's got a lot of options, but skill-wise, not a lot of matchups that favor him. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. On to ESPN. We had Eleider Alvarez and Michael Seals fighting for a shot at a title shot. They're going through some eliminators. I saw during the broadcast that the winner is supposed to fight Joe Smith Jr., who just recently beat Jesse Hart, which is a pretty good fight. So this one, I wasn't too familiar with Seals, which is one of the reasons, and I didn't get a chance to research him, which is why I didn't do a preview video for this one. Rob did do a preview for the Rosario versus Williams fight, and I'll get into that last. But this one, was very tactical, a lot of clinching, but you could see both guys going for that home run, and both guys going for it with that right hand. Seals was known for having a heavy right hand. Eleider Alvarez not really known for his power, but he famously stopped Sergey Kovalev a few fights back at the end of 2018. Anyway, so this one ended from an abrupt one-punch knockout where Eleider Alvarez, being a seasoned veteran, was able to catch Seals mid-combination with a counter overhand right, and it was over. Not really much else about that fight. I mean, like I said, the winner's supposed to fight Joe Smith Jr., who was Alvarez, which would be a very entertaining fight. Smith brings it every single time. I picked him to lose that fight against Jesse Hart, and I was wrong about that. He was way too physical. That overhand right that I thought would be a problem for Hart, but I thought he'd be able to overcome it. Couldn't overcome it, and now he's got probably the second best fighter that he's fought in Alvarez coming up. He fought against Bernard Hopkins, who was easily the best guy that I ever fought. He also fought Sullivan Barrera, who is a damn good fighter, but now he's got Alvarez, who's also a damn good fighter. So we'll see how that matchup plays. Finally, the upset of the night and probably of the month, Jason Banana Rosario. When I heard that during the introduction, I was like, this guy's nickname is Banana? Anyway, taking on Julian JRock Williams, who was defending the belts that he won from Jarrett Hurd in one of the Fight of the Year candidates last year. And starting off, this fight looked highly competitive, and both guys were landing heavy. JRock was landing his jab, using it effectively, trying to create some angles, landing good body shots. But Rosario stood there and kept coming. Landed some heavy counter shots of his own. Led a few times. But both guys were landing heavy shots to make you think this fight's not going the distance. Rob thought in his preview video, you can watch that as well, that he would have JRock in trouble before getting stopped himself. However, the size of Rosario, he landed a very accurate jab in about the third round that cut Julian Williams right over his eye. And then he was landing heavy shots. I don't know what happened because it was strange that I thought that this would happen to him versus Hurd, which is, it looked like he got tired. The pace, the shots that were landing, it looked like it was getting to Williams. And then in that 5th round, that right uppercut becomes his enemy again. He gets hurt. Referee stops it rightfully. I know the crowd was not feeling it because he didn't actually go down. But if they saw his face and the way his body reacted when he caught that uppercut and that left hook, they'd have known it was over. So we got the upset from Rosario. He now holds the IBF and WBA 154-pound titles. I believe Jermell Charlo holds the WBC. That could be a good unification fight. There's a lot of fighters in and around 154 that can make for some good fights. And I know with him not being a big name, a lot of guys are going to want to fight him. Post-fight, Williams said he's going to exercise that rematch clause. So we'll see if he does that. And we'll go from there. So that's it, guys. Leave your thoughts on how the fights went down in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe so you can catch Rob and I's breakdowns and recaps. Check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Capital Combat. And we'll see you in the next video. Till then, fight on.
This is round 1 and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick crime, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.